If you've been thinking about getting serious with your money, like actually serious, now's the time. The Motley Fool is offering new members 50% off their iconic stock recommendation service, Stock Advisor. This is the same service that's crushed the market with recommendations that have returned 1,057% since inception, compared to the S&P 500's 180% over that same period. This isn't guesswork. The Motley Fool has a track record of finding companies before they become household names. So if you want to invest smarter and you like saving money while doing it, go to fool.com/listen to claim your 50% off discount off a 1-year term of Stock Advisor. Again, that's fool.com/listen. Returns of 1,057% are from the Motley Fool's product Stock Advisor and measured against S&P 500 returns of 180% as of July 10th, 2025. Past performance is not an indicator of future results. All investing involves a risk of loss. Individual investment results may vary.
You are about to listen to the Dr. Daliah Show. Sassy, stimulating medical talk radio. Any medical advice Dr. Daliah Wax gives on her show should not be substituted for an actual visit to your medical provider. And now, here's Dr. Daliah.
Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877 Dr. Daliah, 1-877 DOCDALI. So I see all these commercials of how to fight aging, how to prevent aging. You could use certain creams and, do certain exercises and all that. Well, I'm telling you right now, the fastest path to aging is a fall. I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, 50 years old. If you don't want to age quickly, then don't fall. And for those of you younger people out there, you're probably nodding your heads going, yeah, things changed after I fell. You know, when we're kids, we could bounce right back off the sidewalk or the asphalt and do fine. But when you're older, I got to tell you, my first fall happened on a Black Diamond ski slope. And that started to change things for me. And I was in my 20s. So don't fall. Now, gratefully, Pope Francis has recovered. He had a fall, didn't break anything. He had a recent fall. Apparently, this follows weeks after another incident when he had a fall. From what I understand, he just has a couple contusions. Sometimes Pope Francis uses a wheelchair. Sometimes he uses a cane or a walker. He said at first he was embarrassed about using a wheelchair, but then, he got used to it, and there's nothing to be embarrassed about. You trying to prevent your fall risk is pretty admirable. And so seeing Pope Francis kind of, lead that, fall risk prevention, campaign is very, very needed, because unfortunately a fall is what could accelerate your aging, could accelerate a lot of morbidity, and then unfortunately mortality. And so if you want to avoid an early death, don't fall. So how do you prevent falls? Do I still fall? Absolutely. I fell in August in the bathroom because the cats, when they ate their food or the dog ate their food, left a little dollop of some of the gravy of it. And it was in a place that it shouldn't have been. I wasn't expecting it to be. Most of the falls that happen is you thought you had smooth ground, smooth sailing. And then all of a sudden, no, it wasn't that smooth. I do almost fall a lot when I walk outside. I live in an area where there is 24/7 construction. And even when they fix a sidewalk or they fix a street, there's always something wrong. A lot of times I'm on paths or sidewalks that I think are stable and smooth. But if you have a tree or plants underneath, their roots could uproot the concrete and make that irregular. And so every time you hit a line, right, what was that? If you step on a crack, you break your mother's back. So you avoid. One of the reasons why that came out is they wanted to make people aware of the cracks in the sidewalk because it would always be irregular in the past. And that's where you hit it and then you fall. And I've fallen because of uneven road. So be aware and maybe live by that. If you see a crack, it'll break your mother's back. So don't step on the crack. And I know some of us were, mad at our moms at the time. So we were trying to jump on every crack. But no, joking aside, that might help you avoid the cracks in the sidewalk. that sadly can cause you to fall. Of course, in your house, fall-proofing your house is paramount. Don't let there be wet. If you do have tile, make sure there's a some traction on there. Some either grooves or other things that will allow you to have that grit, have that ability to not slip. Now, mind you, tile, where you get that friction and that extra traction is actually on the line. So at home, it's a little opposite. You could step on the cracks of your tile at home because it's less slippery than some of the marble. I don't have marble. I'm not rich enough to have marble, but some of our tile is marble-like, so it could get really smooth and wet. Watch for your cords, your rugs, your kitty cats, your dogs. If my dog thinks I'm going out of town, my dog will hug my ankles and follow me around because she wants either me to not leave or she wants me to take her with. And so I almost always fall right before a trip because the dog is just always around my ankles. So that's, if you are at risk for a fall, how many times have people said they tripped over their dog? Well, or they're trying to avoid the dog. I had one young man fracture his foot because the dog was just lying there in the way. And he didn't know that the dog was just lying there. And he didn't want to step on the dog, so he planted his foot, and then he hyperextended his big toe, ended up fracturing. So pets, you might have to pet-proof the house. The other thing, too, is I think we need to bring back the fashionable cane or the fashionable walking stick. And I know this isn't the 1920s, but I believe that could really, really help a lot of us that feel a little unsteady. I'll be running up and down the stairs, at T-Mobile Arena or Allegiant or wherever, or at a Subway, and I start to reach for the rail, and they're dirty, and there's gum, and there's crap on them, so I don't want to touch the rail. And a lot of us since COVID are like, well, I don't want to touch anything. So now nobody's touching anything, but now they're not bracing themselves. They're not balancing. So maybe wear outside gloves so you could touch a dirty rail or touch a wall, use that for support, and then you could go ahead and clean your glove. But we really need to educate people more on falls. I have seen older individuals where they are active and they're young and they're doing all sorts of things, and then they break their hip and they're dead in a year. And I don't want to scare you guys, but these are things that nobody seems to talk about. They say, don't fall, don't fall. We always tell our loved one, don't fall. That doesn't help. Don't fall. Well, I'm not doing it on purpose. So be aware of your ground. Be aware of construction. Be aware of roots that could be uplifting. Make sure you have plenty of light in a room. That I understand the power bills are high. I get it. I pay high power bills. But make sure you have good lighting. Make sure you have good footwear. Make sure you clean. Get rid of clutter. If there's a box in an area where you walk, get rid of that. And when you're outside, be aware that these sidewalks are uneven. So don't step on the crack. 1-877-DOC-DALIAH.
If you've been thinking about getting serious with your money, like actually serious, now's the time. The Motley Fool is offering new members 50% off their iconic stock recommendation service, Stock Advisor. This is the same service that's crushed the market with recommendations that have returned 1,057% since inception, compared to the S&P 500's 180% over that same period. This isn't guesswork. The Motley Fool has a track record of finding companies before they become household names. So if you want to invest smarter and you like saving money while doing it, go to fool.com/listen to claim your 50% off discount off a 1-year term of Stock Advisor. Again, that's fool.com/listen. Returns of 1,057% are from the Motley Fool's product Stock Advisor and measured against S&P 500 returns of 180% as of July 10th, 2025. Past performance is not an indicator of future results. All investing involves a risk of loss. Individual investment results may vary.
Hey guys, it's Dr. Daliah. Fantasy football season is coming, but sadly, too many of you are taking the bench while the country takes part in one of the most exciting and lucrative industries out there. Don't know how to play? Well, huddle up and listen. Paul Kalikas and I have written a fantasy football pocket guide for beginners. This book walks you through the basics and shows you how simple and lucrative joining or creating a fantasy football team can be. Read our fantasy football pocket guide for beginners found on Amazon or follow the links on X and Facebook. That's Fantasy Football Pocket Guides for Beginners. Don't be left out.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
diesel fuel cetane levels.
The cetane rating in diesel fuel is 42 to 45. Most diesel engines operate more efficiently with a cetane rating of 48 to 50. One treatment of Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme will raise your cetane 7 points, increase fuel economy, and improve cold starts.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Let's face it, guys, we're living in times where the truth is becoming more suppressed and censorship is increasing at an alarming rate, especially on social media platforms. It's Clyde, and I want to tell you about a safe and secure digital playground we put together just for you. It's aftermath.media. You get access to thousands of Ground Zero archives and podcasts, along with our private social media groups with your basic membership starting at only $7 a month. Each subscription includes tech support, access to the RSS feeds, along with our own chat room and Telegram channel. In addition, the premium membership includes research study groups, webinars, a document and movie library, a live video stream of Ground Zero, a monthly Zoom chat with me, and other bonus content. Be sure to check out our yearly specials as well. Sign up today while you're thinking about it. Sign up at aftermath.media. Again, that's aftermath.media.
If you've been thinking about getting serious with your money, like actually serious, now's the time. The Motley Fool is offering new members 50% off their iconic stock recommendation service, Stock Advisor. This is the same service that's crushed the market with recommendations that have returned 1,057% since inception, compared to the S&P 500's 180% over that same period. This isn't guesswork. The Motley Fool has a track record of finding companies before they become household names. So if you want to invest smarter and you like saving money while doing it, go to fool.com/listen to claim your 50% off discount off a 1-year term of Stock Advisor. Again, that's fool.com/listen. Returns of 1,057% are from the Motley Fool's product Stock Advisor and measured against S&P 500 returns of 180% as of July 10th, 2025. Past performance is not an indicator of future results. All investing involves a risk of loss. Individual investment results may vary.
All right, we are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Doc-Dali, 1-877-DOC-DALI. Big thanks to Talk Media Network for making the show happen. Big thanks to Daniel, our producer, and big thanks to you all for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Dr. Daliah, Facebook, The Dr. Daliah Show, and on YouTube. Click like and subscribe. Okay, so some of you were fortunate enough, although I don't know if fortunate's the right word, but you were able to get Ozempic, or a GLP-1 agonist drug, to lose weight. And many of you have reached out saying, I'm stuck. I got on the drug. I'm spending money on the drug, and you're not losing weight. You lost maybe 10 pounds. Maybe you lost 20 pounds, and now you're in what I call Ozempic limbo. If you are in Ozempic limbo, this is a very, very scary time, especially if you've invested tens of thousands of dollars for your monthly shots. If your insurance covered it and you only paid $25, okay, not as scary. But for those of you that have really invested a lot of money into it, into your weight loss, and now you don't know what to do, you're scared. And so this Ozempic limbo that some of you are on is causing you to be concerned. Do you keep going? Do you stop the drug? For those of you who missed a dose or who did stop it temporarily, you saw how quickly your hunger came back. Your hunger came back pretty fast. And so you are in limbo, or you're at a plateau. So I've told you guys before, when you lose weight, the plateaus are actually very beneficial. These plateaus allow your body to reset itself. So let's say you get a stomach flu, you lose 5-10 pounds, not eating and vomiting and diarrhea. And then at the end of the week, you're like, wait a second, look at me. I'm 5-10 pounds lighter. If I could just keep this, the second you finish that sentence, you gain the weight right back. So rather than it taking a long time or even 5 days to gain that weight back, you almost take it in like a sponge, because for your body to reset itself and recalculate for that new weight loss, it's easier for your body to just rebound. But if you lose weight slowly and plateau, and your body starts to get used to that new weight, now that's going to be your new set point, as long as you're not overeating and doing things wrong. And so if you have been taking Ozempic or Wegovy or Mounjaro or Zepbound for weight loss, and you lost 10, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, and now you're not losing anymore, that's actually a good sign, because that means your body is trying to reset. The problem is nobody wants to spend $1,000 or $1,500 a month for same weight. The reason why most people fail on their diets is they plateau. This could be, whether it's Weight Watchers or exercising or working out, and you're like, I'm not losing any more weight. I must be doing something wrong. So you quit, and then you gain the weight back. And nobody tells you, you just ride through that plateau. The problem is the average person cannot afford these drugs. And for those of you in Ozempic limbo, you want to know how to get off of the drug and not gain the weight. So, the element of surprise always takes us. But if you're not surprised and you're educated and you're aware, it might not hit you that hard. So if you know that a common side effect of stopping the drug is you're going to get very hungry, plan for that. Have junk food out of the house. Have an exercise regimen. Have plenty of water around. And then start working on your cravings. Make sure you have something. Another thing that you might want to do is not stop the drug abruptly. If you're on 2 milligrams of Ozempic, then maybe go down the next few weeks to 1 milligram, then maybe go down to 0.5, then 0.25 before you go off of it. But if you lost your weight at the 2 milligrams and you stop it, you're going to probably rebound. So you might want to slowly taper it down. You also should be increasing your muscle mass. Your metabolism is not going to increase if you lose your muscle. So if you haven't been exercising this whole time, you better start exercising. And you better start increasing your muscle mass. And you better also get into shape, because the weight will come. And you're going to realize that this Ozempic Mounjaro weight loss might be temporary for you. Not for everybody, but for you. So you might need plan B and come up with another way to lose the weight. And, don't feel bad. A lot of people feel they got suckered into this, that nobody warned them. I warned you that not everybody listens. And mind you, listen, I would love to lose a rapid amount of weight. I have a bikini from my honeymoon that I would love to get back into. I don't think my husband's going to want to see me in it, but I'd like to be in it. And so I get it. It's very addictive to want to succeed and start looking better. You know how difficult it is to lose weight and to be able to improve your health? I'm not faulting you for trying to improve your health and weight. I fault you for not revamping your whole lifestyle and including exercise and eating healthy. If you're eating out and drinking alcohol and using these drugs to try to curb some of your cravings, no, your weight loss is not going to be permanent. But if you've been working out at the gym and you've been cutting back your eating and you've been doing, what you do, then that's what these drugs work well for. Just like with diabetes, these medications were designed for people with diabetes so that those struggling to get their sugars down have another option. But can you be on it lifelong? There's a study looking at some of the risk factors like pancreatitis. And researchers from the Washington University School of Medicine looked at the health outcomes among more than 2 million people with diabetes taking these drugs. And they found that if you're on these medications, it doubled the chance of developing pancreatitis. Now, pancreatitis is inflammation of the pancreas. Inflammation of the pancreas could put you at risk for pancreatic cancer. We don't want to mess with the pancreas. In fact, there's a saying we always say in medical school that I can't say, but it rhymes with Donald Duck. You don't Donald Duck with the pancreas. And these medications can. I don't think these medications were ever designed for long term. So for those of you that were lucky enough with your new insurance to get on the medication, has anybody studied how long you could really safely be on it? We're seeing pancreatic cancer risk rise. Is it because of all the diet sodas? Is it because of the increase in obesity? Is it because of the increase in alcohol? Is it because of the increase of these drugs? Why is pancreatic cancer rising? We need to know. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get pancreatic cancer from these drugs, but if it is found to double your risk of pancreatitis is a risk factor for pancreatic cancer. Another problem we're seeing is people aren't pooping. They're telling me they can't poop. They have to self-extract or go through tons of stool softeners. Well, that's not sustainable. I don't care how much weight you're losing. You have to be able to potty. And if you can't if you can't pass your stools and you're constipated, that could put you at risk for colon cancer. So this Ozempic limbo is something that I think has to be talked about just as much as these celebrities talking about their weight loss. You know, and being able to maintain weight loss is important. I know the Wegovy commercials, they go, I'm maintaining my weight loss. Good for them. But it's an expensive way to do it. And if you are putting yourself at risk for GI side effects, nausea, vomiting, pancreatitis, you know, we want you to be able to maintain your weight without drugs. And I think we're starting to develop this idea that you have to be on this for life. And now you're scared. You're scared that you can't go off of it. And you keep paying and you keep paying, you keep injecting. And at some point, something gives, you go off of it, and you gain the weight back. So my recommendation for all of you in limbo is, one, look at the dosing you're on and very slowly titrate down. Keep exercising, eat healthy, try to maintain that caloric intake, and try to temper the rebound. And you need to figure out what is the lowest dose that keeps you happy and does what needs to be done medically for you, that doesn't put you at risk for rebound when you stop the medication. And seeing patients come back saying, look, I just gained 30 pounds back, all those benefits of weight loss on the heart and the kidneys, you know, we're hearing all these studies where if you take these medications, this rapid weight loss is doing wonders for your heart. Okay, where are the studies showing the rebound weight gain and what that's doing to your heart? Okay, the one thing I can assure you is a good number of people using the drugs are going off of them. We need to be there for the medical issues that happen with that. 1-877-DOC-DALIAH, don't go away.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed, lab-proven to work fast, and proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Diesel fuel cetane levels.
in many states, the cetane rating in diesel fuel is 42 to 45. Most diesel engines operate more efficiently with a cetane rating of 48 to 50. One treatment of Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme will raise your cetane 7 points, increase fuel economy, and improve cold starts. Due to a cleaner burn, there are less hydrocarbons and particulate matter in your exhaust. This reduces the blockage of your diesel particulate filter. Using Diesel Extreme generates 83% less DPF regeneration. The 6-in-1 Diesel Extreme formula also includes the most concentrated detergent on the market, lubricity enhancer, water demulsifier, rust and corrosion inhibitors, and a fuel stabilizer.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Weight loss solutions are not one size fits all. Hers makes it simpler to get started and stick with a weight loss plan, backed by expert-guided online care that puts your weight loss goals first. These include oral medication kits or compounded GLP-1 injections. Through Hers, pricing for oral medication kits start at just $69 a month for a 10-month plan when paid in full up front. No hidden fees, no membership fees. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hers brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. Reach your weight loss goals with help through Hers. Get started at forhers.com/4u to access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss plans. That's forhers.com/4u, forhers.com/4u. Paid for by Hims and Hers Health. Weight loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at forhers.com apply.
All right. We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Dr. 1-877-DOCDALI. So I get kind of visual on this show. Many of you are watching my videos on Facebook Live and Twitter and etc. So most of the videos I have are on Facebook Live. Most of my show is audio, though. So for those of you that want to watch something, you might want to tune into Facebook Live, because I am getting sick and tired of hearing how people do not want to eat healthy, do not want to eat salads or vegetables. They say, I cannot eat vegetables. This little baby bowl of a salad with greens and some purple lettuce and some croutons, although I really don't want to add any more carbs to my diet than I have, so I'm going to skip the croutons. But there's so many of you that go, cannot eat the salad. Nope, sorry. Not going to do this. And you look at this. There's no dressing on this. I do have some dressing on the side, which is really good. There's this place in town called Chuck's. I don't really eat crab or anything, but they have like the best dressing. Thing is, it's very sugary. It's very caloric, so I don't eat too much of it. But I don't want to teach you how to eat a salad or vegetables that is drowning in butter or cheese. Or, yeah, I know, to get spinach in me, it has to be cream spinach. But, you know, there's a way to do this and get these vegetables into your system. All right, so I'm going to show you guys this. Watch. So here is a piece of lettuce. This looks very unappetizing at all, right? Watch this. There it is. I'm eating it. It doesn't taste that bad, but there I go. Now here's a purple leaf. This has obviously some different nutrients because of the phytochemicals and the colorings. And if I put this in my mouth, there we go. We eat it. You see, all you have to do is not think about it. Take a piece of lettuce, shove it in your mouth, and there you go. You're going to be able to poop better. It's good for your teeth. A lot of times I smile. I got food in my teeth. At least people know I got my vegetable. You could take the croutons and throw them at your pets or I like to throw these things because these are like little weapons, these little croutons. I don't have to eat the croutons. I love onions. I just can't digest them. But I just ate about a forkful and a half of vegetables without dressing, without crying, without moaning, and I got it in me. Now, some of you are saying, well, okay, that's kind of common sense. If it is common sense, how come you guys aren't doing it? How come you're not getting the vegetables in you? How come you won't eat it? Well, because you were trained on only doing things that you want to do. Your parents, when you were growing up, said if you want dessert, you're going to have to finish your meal. Well, no, you don't always get dessert in life. If you want to live, you eat. I'm telling you right now, in caveman days, I sincerely doubt zebra was tasty or the fish that they caught was really that succulent and delicious. But we, over time, evolved to only eat things that are peppered or have cumin or cinnamon or basil or oregano. Now, I am not saying don't season your foods. If you want to season your foods, that's fine. But when are we going to go back to the thinking that not everything has to taste super yummy? Look at how I'm trying to get everybody to drink more water. Water has no taste. Now, to me, it tastes good when I'm really thirsty after a workout, but water is not going to be sweet. It's not going to be chocolatey. It's not going to be bubbly, although there was some interesting study on carbonated water we're going to be talking about in a little bit. But I want you, as we're, going into this new year, to do something that might not necessarily give you such dopaminergic rewards that's healthy. Okay? Let's say you know your mother-in-law would like a call from you, and there is absolutely no dopamine that seems to come from that. Just do it. And I tell you, you will actually feel better. Whenever I eat a salad that I didn't dump in a sugary dressing, I feel good that I ate a healthy meal. This is my breakfast and lunch today, and it's plenty. It's big enough. I'm going to skip the onions because I don't digest onions anymore. I wish I did, and I don't have any Beano. Beano gives you enzymes, so when you don't digest food, you get very gassy and bloaty, and I got a flight tomorrow. I really don't want to be, having to evacuate a plane, so I'm going to be skipping the onions, but I got to tell you, God, onions, these are, if you want to season foods and you want to add flavor, you put onions in it. I mean, onions are fantastic. It is a healthy, very healthy way to season. Another thing I like are tomatoes. Oops, I dropped my tomato. Well, 3-second rule. These little tomato bits, that sweetens your salad. Also, you could add cranberries. Some people like to add cheese. I want to kind of limit, the dairy for me. But yeah, cheese can make your salad better. Some people add egg. And, if you are doing dressing, interestingly, so, I got a nice, this is like more than a dollop. This is like a whole bunch of dressing. And now it just spilled all over the place. So when I did Weight Watchers years ago, they taught me, it's funny, I gained a lot of weight in puberty. And when my parents were trying to lose weight, I went to, so I was a kid, I was like 13. I went to Weight Watchers with them. And then I skinnied out and I was slim until menopause. But I wasn't like super slim. I was Dr. Daliah thin. So that's size 7 to 9 with double Ds. But still thin, I stayed thin. Even after the pregnancies, I lost the baby weight. It wasn't until menopause and perimenopause that all of a sudden everything packed on. But I was talking about, now I forgot what I was talking about. That's another thing, dementia. Talking about weight gain. Oh, yeah. So Weight Watchers taught us that rather than dump, and we're talking, this is the 1980s, rather than dumping a whole bunch of dressing onto your salad, take a fork. And it wasn't Weight Watchers. It was somebody in the Weight Watchers room one of the people that just weighed in, said they dip their fork into the dressing, and there's a little bit on each strand of the fork, whatever you call those poker thingies of the fork, and then they dip it in their salad, and they get that little taste, and it works. You could use honey. There's a lot of things you could do. But I don't even want you to sit here and try to manipulate your vegetables. Just take whatever you need to eat and stick it in your mouth. It's that simple. And, I don't want to insult anybody. I get it. Life is too short. If you could enjoy, some chocolate mousse and some succulent, well-seasoned, slow-roasted prime rib, I don't blame you. But people are not eating what they need to that's healthy because they're like, well, it doesn't taste good. I need to make it taste better. You're not going to make it taste better. To me, this tastes like crap. But I don't tell myself that. I tell myself that the more bitter, assuming you're not eating something that has fungus on it or is rotten. But if I taste bitter or I taste vegetable, I tell myself, ooh, that's good. I'm really getting in my vitamins. Speaking of vitamins, look at this market of gummy vitamins. How many of you have had more acid reflux and burping because of the gelatin? When did vitamins have to get sugary? And I understand the Flintstones vitamins I had as kids were tasty. But no, your vitamins are not supposed to be sugary. 1-877-Daliah, don't go away.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/day to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/day for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Carl Amari here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you, and be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? My name is Ron LeGrand, and over the past 40 years, I've bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit and taught thousands to do the same. Today, even in a virtual environment, we buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements, and build huge cash flow and wealth without the hassle of tenants, all without credit and little or no money. You don't need a license or experience, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Text FREE to 99799, and I'll send you my free training. I promise you I'll change the way you think about real estate and open the door to a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehabs and can quickly replace your current income. Text FREE to 99799, and let me show you how to take your life back and build cash flow and wealth from your home. That's FREE to 99799. Again, FREE to 99799.
As an organ donor, your story doesn't have to end. The good in you can live on. In fact, you could save up to 8 lives and restore sight and health for many more. Sign up right now online as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. You'll be happy you did. And just maybe, someone else will be happy too. Go to organdonor.gov. It saves lives. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. I am loving our producer, Daniel. Boy, he really knows how to bring on the blues and, some of my favorite music. So that is fantastic. Love you, Daniel. Daniel's our producer. Big thanks to Talk Media Network, as well as all of you guys for tuning in. I am, 16 years. This is my sweet 16th year on radio. So very, very grateful. We try to answer all your medical questions. And one of our listeners asks, how do I feel about the AI-generated medical advice online? It's a fantastic question. I haven't read it all, but I am fascinated by how people give that a lot of weight. And basically where you guys are getting AI is, I know Google does this. I don't really use DuckDuckGo. I need to. I know a lot of people do use DuckDuckGo. So I don't know if they have an automatic AI, but Google has this AI. So when you search something, you get something called an AI overview. And sometimes I notice, it does a very nice generalization, but I'm hoping to the Lord that nobody is actually just going to AI for medical advice. I'm naive to think they aren't. They are. And so I'm actually working on a study with some medical students on that, on the accuracy of ChatGPT and some of these AI algorithms. And, so here's an example, okay? I just put in headache. Now, a headache could be anything. What's the first thing you think of when you think of having a headache? You probably think of migraine. The first thing I think of with a headache is stroke, meningitis, a tumor. No, it is not a tumor. But I think of a tumor. I think of those things. Why? Because as a doctor, I need to rule that out. And a bleed. When I had a patient come into an urgent care, and I was newly working at that urgent care, and the nurse said, he comes in here every month. He just wants a shot of Decadron and Toradol or whatever. She wanted to give him his, and I'm like, can I evaluate him first before you give him any medicine? And the nurse was kind of mad. And he said, this headache is kind of worse than it's ever been. And I'm like, I need to make sure you don't have a brain bleed. I ordered a CAT scan. He had a bilateral subdural hematoma. And the nurse was going to give him a shot that could have made it worse. And you can't teach instinct, but I've been very blessed to have it. And thank God, I think it has saved a lot of patients' lives. But I have trained myself to just rule out the bad stuff first. And then I could say maybe it's a migraine or a cluster headache. So when you type in headache on this AI, it says it is pain or discomfort in the head, neck, or face. They could range from mild to severe and can be caused by a number of conditions. So that's not a bad statement. But people don't read paragraphs. So they immediately look at the bolded headlines. And the number one type of headache that they are bolding and putting out there is migraine. Then you see tension type headache. Then you see cluster headache. Now, they're not wrong. Those are common headaches. But see, this is my problem with it. Okay, I am looking at this AI as a patient has a symptom. So they're immediately going to their computer. They're typing that in, And now they're getting migraine. It's just a migraine. Even though the AI isn't saying that, the fact that that's getting top billing, and then tension type headache, then cluster headache, I don't like the priorities. I would rather it say we need to rule out, these things need to be ruled out, but it's not going to do that because it doesn't want to scare people. Then it goes into saying causes of headache: stress, poor diet, muscle tension, lack of exercise, infections, injuries, tumors, dehydration, medications. It doesn't say bleed in there. It doesn't say aneurysm. It doesn't say stroke. But they put the milder things on there because they don't want people scared. Okay, well, if you're looking at that, and now you've put in a good 2 minutes, you're like, okay, yeah, I have stress. And they put stress first. Yep, I have stress. Okay, I'm going to close it up. Thank you. Why aren't you getting that headache looked at? Then they go into home treatments. So before they even get into the serious stuff, they're like, drink some water, get enough rest, take over-the-counter pain medication like paracetamol or ibuprofen. Oh, don't you dare. How do we know about your liver? Your ibuprofen, what if you have a bleed? What if you have an ulcer? What if you have kidney disease? I wouldn't take ibuprofen yet. Can someone evaluate you first? Try relaxation techniques. Place a cool cloth on your head. Then the AI finally gets to the nitty-gritty, which to me should have been top billing. If you do have the patience to read through all that, now you're going to get the nitty-gritty. When to seek medical advice. If you have a severe headache. If you have other symptoms to your headache. If your headache affects your daily life. If you have a persistent headache. Now, I don't know about you all, but if I have a headache, I'm not going to read 5 paragraphs. So my worry is, even though the AI doesn't have a lot of incorrect data there, much of their information, is valid. I don't like the way it was formatted. And I think people are going to shut it off before they get to the nitty-gritty. And you need to know the you need to know the nitty-gritty. Headache, if I get a headache, I the first thing I think of with myself is COVID. Because when I had COVID, I had a really bad headache. And a headache was my first symptom. So don't you think you want AI to tell people that so then they aren't spreading it? If you have a headache, you might have flu or COVID. You might be getting sick. Why isn't that up at the top? And so my worry about AI is what's going to happen is it's going to be very easily manipulated by the narrative. If the narrative is don't go to the ER or the urgent care and cost us money, then it is going to give you things to make you go, oh, okay, all right, it's probably a migraine. But what if it's not? And AI is not a physician. They're saying AIs can do better than physicians. But I'm telling you right now, no computer would have predicted and diagnosed some of the things I diagnosed in patients because I had that instinct. God spoke to me through that patient. And there were little things that told me something wasn't right. Remember I told you there was somebody leaving the office saying, am I good for another 50,000 miles? Because he got, his blood pressure medication. I go, no, something's still wrong. I want to make sure you don't have an aneurysm. Just something's telling me something's not right. This guy had a 10-centimeter aneurysm about to burst. And his stomach was, kind of enlarged and bloated that I couldn't feel it. It wasn't something that I could feel. He was at the exit counter when something told me I need to make sure this gets done. AI won't do that. Even if it can, it won't do that. As you see, they put the serious stuff last. They don't want people going to the doctor. They want to reassure people online to make you feel better about yourself. But I'm a doctor. I have to make sure we don't miss the stroke. We don't miss the tumor. We don't miss the highly infectious meningitis. Now, I'm not saying AI has to put all the scary stuff, but it should inform patients in a different priority. 1-877-DOC-Daliah.
Can you believe, with all the recent violent protests, looting, and destruction, some areas are considering either defunding or abolishing the police? At a time when America's neighborhoods need the protection of police the most, some elected officials would rather create more chaos by playing politics. If you're sick of elected officials caving in to demands of the radical left, you're not alone. It's time we stand up and declare our support for local police. The majority of police officers are important partners in protecting our God-given rights. If you prefer freedom over chaos, then learn how you can help protect the local police that serve your community. Call today and request your free Support Your Local Police info packet. Dial 800-JBS-USA-1. That's 800-JBS-USA-1. Request your free Support Your Local Police info packet by calling 800-JBS-USA-1 today.